To be honest, don't really know what I'm doing.
He was often a player that I would buy on Football Manager.
It's already a terrible reason.
From Jon Snow, Matt puts Dan's wardrobe to shame.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Look at him, the cat that got the cream.
Ian Taylor said it was the worst thing he'd ever seen in his life.
My theory on referees is you give them the nicest changing room in the stadium.
This is the most bizarre thing I've ever
Hear me out.
I cannot believe Gabby Bondahor's.
That's crazy,
That's
isn't
terrible.
it?
Yeah, we may well have lost listeners early doors again with a long-winded intro. Go, shoot. Hello, welcome to the Villa View podcast with Tom Tight Shirt Julian on my right and Dan Normal Size Shirt Bardell.
Not as catchy.
Not as catchy. doesn't work as well. As you can see, we've both had some Christmas. Oh, just looking at that shirt, we've had some Christmas gifts. Tom's was purchased for himself, I believe, and has not gone down well.
Yeah. So if you watched last week's podcast or listened to last week's podcast, I said that I bought myself the first shirt that I ever bought. I ever got given when I was a Villa fan. This might actually be that same shirt when I was 10 years old.
I'd imagine that's so too big to be the shirt for
I got it off
10 years old.
eBay for £9 and
look at the stat. I mean, look at the stat. The pants for one. If you are watching via video, I do have to apologise for these scenes.
I will say that these pants
horrible.
are 100% silk and they are lovely. The shirt doesn't quite cover the midriff.
No.
Quite tight on the old arms. Look at that.
Not in a good way. Yeah. I mean, audio listeners have had a worldie this week because they have not had to just watch that.
My breath is getting shorter and shorter with every contraction.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Great start to the podcast. This is someone's had too much turkey, I think.
I'm losing breath.
Yeah,
It's
you
very
definitely had
tight.
too much turkey as well, actually.
I had a really nice Christmas day. How was your Christmas?
Good, yeah. Obviously, I've got this shirt that's the correct adult size for me that my wife sewed with 10 Mercer on the back. So you can't really see, but that was probably my favourite present because I think this 98, 99 away shirt is one of my favourite shirts. Reminds me of happy times under John Gregory. But yeah, Christmas is good. I always find this when you're not like with your own family because I was at the in-laws this year. It's not the same.
Yeah, I had my mother-in-law and my sister to stay with us.
Which sister? The fun sister that I know?
As in, no, my wife's sister.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know her.
You don't know. You might have met her at the baby
I mean,
party.
let's not get on to it, but yeah.
Anyway, it was kind of weird because we were in our flat in Croydon, and yet it was them coming to us. But it was good. Everyone seems to have had a happy time. They've left this morning.
Did Alfie have a good Christmas? Good first Christmas?
Do you know what? He cried a lot this Christmas.
Were you wearing that shirt?
Yeah, maybe. I don't think he's been very well, but he's not going to remember it. So
No. Did he like his present that the Villa View got him?
So far, he hasn't tried it on because it's way too big.
I see. I just went bigger.
Yeah, that's fine.
I thought let him grow into it.
He's going to enjoy it more when he's a bit older and he understands. Well, he's not going to understand it.
No.
9 months, but anyway.
I mean, when he's grown into that in the summer, he'll love putting on that big onesie in June.
Time.
Great times for the young lad.
Weird Christmas for the Villa, kind of up and down. Let's start quickly with the Leeds game because we haven't done a podcast since, and you and I were both quite high on us going into Leeds, obviously getting a result.
Yeah.
And it almost happened, and yet actually it was quite far away.
As I say, I don't think it did almost happen. Even at half time, 2-0, I was worried.
Yeah.
I said to my dad, we need to score again because they'll score 2-3 here, Leeds. They were. Obviously, we played Wolves and beat them quite comfortably at Villa Park last season, but Wolves went at pretty much their canter last year. I thought Leeds were a level beyond even what the football Wolves were playing last season. I thought their movement was phenomenal. And it just shows we've made giant strides under Dean Smith, but it just shows how important it is to have a full pre-season to implement your strategy and your way of playing, because Bielsa's had that whole summer with the Leeds squad, being able to get in the players he wants to suit the system that he wants to play, and now I thought they were a different level. Even though we were good for the first half, first 20 minutes, I thought we were clinical. But I still just thought Leeds' movement was like nothing I've ever seen.
It's interesting you say that. I don't quite agree in terms of I agree it's nice to have a full pre-season, but it was more the fact that we're so short at the back. I feel like if we'd had the players, then maybe we could have. Dean Smith might have had the opportunity to change things up a little bit, or at least have fullbacks that wanted to be fullbacks on the right side. Our back four was so mishmash, as we've been talking about all season, that if we'd had a decent back four, which kind of is a bit more critical than I mean it to be, but if we'd had players that play in the right position, then we might have had the better of Leeds.
Maybe I didn't explain it well. I agree with what you're saying there, but I just think we've made such good strides under Smith. Yeah. Imagine what he could have done with the whole pre-season and being able to bring in the players
Sure.
that he wanted with that pre-season. I mean, January, I think we'll bring a couple that Smith wants. Obviously, we've already brought one in, and that will really help us. I think we'll be calling Elphick back as well, which will help with in terms of numbers defensively, because we are short, as you just alluded to. But Leeds will go up. Even yesterday, Leeds. What is it? They end up scoring 2 in stoppage time to win the game.
Yeah.
Phenomenal drive, and they're a really good side. Credit to Leeds. Credit to what they've done, because it
was Kamal Roof again, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's got 3 in the last 3 minutes of 2 games.
I remember Matt Lynch, actually, the first season we went down, we did a video on players that we'd like Villa to sign, and Matt, I think, picked out Kamal Roof as someone that he thought would be a very good player. And I mean, it's not often we make good shouts here on the Villa View.
This shirt was one of them.
So that's a rarity in itself. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, getting someone in like Bielsa is unbelievable. I mean, they must be paying him well, but it's still a brave appointment, because there's no guarantees it's going to work out. I'm sure big managers have come down to the Championship before and it not been rosy. He's
also one of these guys that's very much divided opinion, hasn't he? To me, when he signed, it was a bit like, do you remember when Felix Magath signed with Fulham?
Yeah.
And Felix Magath was an absolute nutter, but he'd won the Bundesliga.
I mean, that was not a good appointment, though.
No, and that was absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
And so you've got this Bielsa character who is a vitriolic character. He can go nuts, but it seems to be working right now. Whether that works long term.
Oh dear. What's that alarm for?
Visit Chris at Charing Cross. It's because we started late.
Oh.
I thought we'd be done.
You were supposed to be there already?
No.
Oh.
But that's to remind me to not forget.
Okay, fine for Tom. Maybe you'll see Dolan back in the booth next week.
But what I'm saying is, Bielsa, we've only seen a short body of work at Leeds so far, so we need to see it right the way through. But he's playing really nice football.
I said it in our match review with me and Rollo that every time a player made a run, someone else was coming from nowhere and just filling that space. The movement was just unreal, I thought.
Yeah.
And it was something I noticed, particularly in the first half, even though they didn't score, because they were attacking the whole end. I just think that they'll go up. I don't think they'll go up at a canter, but they're going to go up because they're too good to stay in this league.
Yeah. We should mention the goals for Villa. Very nice goals.
Yeah.
The first goal with Tammy Abraham, with John McGinn, the little layoff there. The whole thing was just beautifully orchestrated.
Yeah, lovely little prodded through ball from Connor. Some nice football was played there, and then McGinn's gone through on goal. I think we probably would have had a penalty had Abraham not tucked it away. I mean, he's got a real knack of being in the right place. He's been such a good loan signing, and obviously there's rumours that he's going to get taken away from us, but I just can't see that happening.
I read over Christmas that Sarri has said that Abraham is in the best position he can be in.
Okay.
So I am of the opinion that he's going to stay at Villa.
Yeah, as I said, I think I said it in last week's podcast. I mean, we've got John Terry at Villa.
Yeah.
Surely he's speaking to people at Chelsea, and they're going to listen to what John Terry says. And if John Terry's saying the best thing for Chelsea and the best thing for Villa is that Tammy Abraham stays at Villa, I think Chelsea are going to listen, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Great strike from Conor Hourihane to put us 2-0 up. I just absolutely love seeing this guy score, and obviously he scored again against Swansea, which proved decisive. We'll come on to that. El Mohammadi had a tough day at the office.
I mean, he pretty much just left off from where he ended the Stoke game. I thought, I mean, he just had a rough ride. His players go through bad form. It's just one of those. He's been pretty consistent since he's been here. He's just had a couple of off games. He was somewhere near back to his level, I thought, yesterday. But we played 2 teams that play with direct wingers, and that's caused him problems. He's not really a natural defender. I wouldn't have him down in the list of natural defenders, El Mohammadi.
No.
He's more of a wing back rather than a full-back, and we're playing with full-back, so it's always going to be tough for him. I mean, Hutton struggled equally on the other side. I thought it was just unfortunate El Mohammadi made that horrific error in the 95th minute that's ended up costing us the game, and as soon as he made that header, I said to my dad quickly, goal. And you just knew Roof would bang it in off the back of a mistake, because we do tend to get punished when we make mistakes.
I mean, it was kind of end-to-end. For pretty much the whole of the second half, Leeds dominated, and then in the last kind of 10-15 minutes, Villa had a couple of chances, I thought, and it was kind of like, are Villa going to smash and grab this? And if they do, they totally don't deserve it. And then it turns out that Roof scores off that. It was a horrible knockdown from El Mohammadi. It was literally on a plate for him, wasn't it?
I mean, he still had to finish it, but yeah, it was a bad mistake.
A good finish, there's no doubt about that, but anywhere else but there, and it's just teed it up.
I mean, me and you are natural footballers, obviously.
Whoa, you
but I always thought, if you're not sure, you just head it behind.
Yeah.
even at the expense of a corner, it's better than just heading it to someone to have a free shot on goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just head it behind, and the fans would have probably had a go at him if he'd have headed it behind, and we'd have probably conceded from the corner.
I guess the only thing is it was quite a tough angle. I think El Mohammadi was kind of stooped, and he just got his head to it. Essentially, he probably would have been better off not doing anything.
Do you think
but
he just perhaps got caught in two minds, and then it just ended up hitting him on the head?
I think that's exactly what that was, and he obviously cushioned it down, but that made it even worse.
I mean, it was a lovely cushion. If he'd have been down the other, if he'd have been down the other end to try and set it up for a Villa forward, I doubt it would have gone that well.
Yeah, so Leeds take all the points, 3-2, and it's just a really disappointing kind of. I'm sitting in the pub and I can hear Leeds fans over the other side of the pub. What made it worse was it was right at the end of the game, and somebody came and sat on my table, took his coat off, and was like, "All right, mate." And I had no idea who this guy was, and I was like,
"You've got a friendly face. People want to be your friend."
I was like, "You're all right?" And he was like, he kept looking at me, and then he went, "Well, there's no Guinness," and I was like, "Sorry, what?"
Do you think you drank it all?
No, and then he realised that he was trying to meet someone else. It wasn't me.
You have got one of those faces.
It's just a common face.
I mean, I won't talk about it on here, but you've got a stonking lookalike.
Yeah, there's a questionable lookalike. Also, Richard Bacon, I've got a couple of them. Anyway, he's like, "Oh, sorry, mate, I thought you were someone else," which is pretty demoralising. And then immediately after, Kamal Roof scores.
And then did you see the guy who we thought was you? Did the guy walk in?
I looked out for him, and I didn't think he looked anything like me, this guy. But there you go. Anyway, that happened, but then it was Christmas, and so hopefully everyone had a nice Christmas. And
sorry, can we just go back to the Leeds game?
Yeah.
Do you think I thought all three goals were avoidable? As much as I'm saying Leeds are a great side and played well, I feel like we could have done better with all three. It
was interesting. I noticed Jack Clark come on at half-time, and usually that kind of passes me by, that kind of important information.
I mean, we've got a player called Jack Clark in our academy as well.
Yeah. There you go. Anyway, he ran riot over El Mohammadi. I'm sure his first run, it kind of came to him and he just bobbled out for a goal kick, and I thought, OK, this could be all right. And then he just took over, and he absolutely destroyed El Mohammadi for the first goal. Obviously, the third goal could have been avoided. The second goal, I'm trying to remember.
Set piece.
Well, there you go.
Bloody Pontus Jansson. He scored against us 3 seasons in a row.
There you go.
He just loves a goal against us. Did you see his knee slide when they didn't get a penalty?
No.
He slid on the floor in disbelief.
Yeah, enough of that.
He's since tweeted about that, saying, "What an idiot I am."
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
He realises it really made me laugh.
Yeah.
At the time. On days like that, I know the circumstances in which we've lost are bad, just by the fact we're 2-0 up and we've conceded in stoppage time to lose the game. So that, straight off the bat, both of those facts are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I never felt comfortable. I never felt like we were going to win that game for some reason. So, I mean, I'm sure the players were really, really deflated, but it didn't upset me that much just because I just never felt in control of that game. Yeah,
it feels like a massive opportunity wasted.
And that's the worst thing about it.
Yeah.
It is an opportunity wasted because, as we've just said, you're 2-0 up. Suddenly it's the swing of points. Like, if you win that game, you're 9 points off Leeds, who are top. You lose, you're 15 points. So that would have given us a real confidence. But luckily, we've bounced back and won the game after. Yeah,
it's a gut punch because we could have drawn it, and that would have been okay. But to lose it, I mean, it's only a point.
That's true.
But it's the stretch is just too much. I read this from Greg Evans. Villa have dropped more points from winning positions than any team in the division this season. 19 points. So we've gone up and either drawn or lost games more than anybody else, so that's very frustrating.
It is, but I also feel like we've gained a lot of points from losing positions. You could throw that stat out. You've got it there on your little notes.
But only if you're going to bring a stat. I
haven't got one, but I'm just saying, I'd be interested to see how many points we've recovered from losing positions as well.
Right, okay.
I bet it kind of balances out.
You're going to find that out for the pod?
Well, not for now, but
ask Greg Evans.
I can find out for next week. Because I feel like a lot of games we've scored late as well.
But I think we've scored late to draw rather than win, probably, right?
The first one that leaps out is the Hourihane free kick at Blackburn.
Yeah, Wigan, we scored late to win.
Wigan, we won. I'm sure there's been others. Although equally we've chucked a lot away. Forest game at the weekend against Leeds. So
there's 19 points that we chucked away.
I reckon it. But I do reckon it somewhat balances out though if you looked at both sides.
Okay, well you can look at that and you can come back to us next week. Sir Smuggler Ellis, what went wrong at Leeds?
You were calling me Sir Smuggler Ellis.
No, I wasn't. What went wrong at Leeds? I mean, I think that pretty much sums it up. They're a very good side, and we weren't able to see it out. We just didn't control the ball, did we? In the second half, I didn't think we weren't able to.
I don't think we had the ball in the second half.
Yeah,
it didn't feel like we did.
We weren't able to establish ourselves so much.
I just thought we ran out of steam. I think that's going to be a problem over the Christmas period with injuries. We haven't got live replacements to bring in for a few positions. I just think we look tired.
You know how Amazon Prime and Netflix are doing these documentary series about the seasons that have gone on?
I've just started the Sunderland one.
Sunderland
the first two is brilliant.
I'm just onto the fourth, and it's excellent.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I'm only 2 in, but it's like the players forget the camera's there.
The fact that they're talking about all this positivity and then they combine it with Darren Gibson slagging off all the current players is just the cinematography of it is just beautiful.
Because I liked the Man City documentary on Amazon, but it's very jazzed up, isn't it? It's staged, very staged. This is just warts and all.
There's no problems in the Man City documentary, and even if there is, you're right, they're airbrushed out. There's no way of glamorising Sunderland's demise. It's absolutely terrible, and I think as Villa fans you can relate to that because we were very close to being that Sunderland.
I mean, I don't know how many people that watch the Villa View have watched any of that documentary, but there's a little Villa cameo, isn't there, in the second episode where they're trying to buy Ross McCormack, and Villa move the goalpost at the last minute and they don't buy him. That's not made Winus look too clever.
No.
Has it? Because we still can't shift him now, and we didn't play him the whole season, so we may as well have just let them have him.
Yeah, exactly.
Got his wages after that shows you, doesn't it?
Even if we'd have paid his wages, or most of his wages, at least put him in the shop window potentially.
Yeah.
Anyway, the reason I brought that up was the next stage of that, I'd love to have a video camera in for every half-time team talk and just see what happens, because we're 2-0 up.
I mean, we know a good video goal.
And then we can make this happen. Yeah. We end up losing 3-2, and it'd be really interesting to see what the players are like in that. I'm not saying that they're smug or they're Sir Smugglers Ellis or they're cocky or anything, but it'd be interesting to see how a manager tries to manage that team talk, because it must be really hard being 2-0 up and going, look lads, you're in a great position, but you've got to keep going.
Yeah, I imagine they go in buzzing, but I think I'd like to think they're professional enough to know that game is not one they've all been in football long enough to know that 2-0 is not a safe lead. I mean, we've shown that you can score 5 goals at home and still not win a football match. So I think the players will have known, and they'll have. If I can sit in the stand and tell at 2-0 we're still in trouble here, the players will know the same. They're not going to have been going in at half time thinking we're going to romp home here. You know whether you're in control of a game or not, and we were not in control of that game, even though we were 2-0 up.
Yeah, that's a great point. Well done, well made.
Thanks,
we'll move on to Swansea 0, Aston Villa 1 on Boxing Day. Positive result, tough game. We talked about this in the preview for the next game, which we've already filmed.
Yep.
But I was kind of a bit confused because I saw your tweet and I thought it was overly positive, when actually I thought it was quite a tough game. Villa didn't really impose themselves on Swansea like I kind of hoped they would, and yet we still come away with a win.
No, first half Swansea, without causing us mega problems, they were popping the ball around quite nice. I was quite impressed with some of their passing actually, but I just didn't think we did the things that we were supposed to do very well in the first half, so I thought the press wasn't really there. Tammy Abraham was getting frustrated that those around him weren't pressing with the same intensity he was at the same time, which is very important. With the pressing game, I thought our passing was lax, not putting enough weight on, putting too much weight on the pass, kicking it out of play. So I thought our passing wasn't really there, and we didn't create too many chances, did we? But then in the second half, obviously something's been said, because I thought we started the second half very well, and without being at our best, I thought it was back to the Villa under Dean Smith that when we come forward, we look like we're going to score, and we had a few chances, a few flash across the goal, and we didn't score. And then obviously Alan, one thing that annoys me with Villa is I feel like we put a lot of crosses in without really looking at who's in the box. And I'm not 100% convinced Alan Hutton's had a look up before he put that cross in the box for Connor, but Connor's popped up with the big header, and it's changed again. We've gone 1-0 up.
Dean Smith, since Dean Smith came in, you and I, and particularly me, have kind of heralded how many players we have in the box for these crosses, and it's made us more productive. Alan Hutton's cross seems a bit speculative when the only man that's running in is Conor Hourihane.
He's pitched him out perfectly though.
But he's absolutely put it on a plate for Hourihane to nod home, and it's a great header. Hourihane has a reasonable amount to do to get into that position, but it's a beautifully weighted ball, and credit to Balassi for his hold-up play as Hutton goes on the overlap. It's a really nicely worked goal. Again, I feel like a huge difference between Bruce and Smith is that every game you can talk about a beautifully worked goal.
I mean, it was tempered a bit for me. I'm going to do a bit of a name drop. Again, everyone knows we're friends with Kevin Grealish.
Yeah.
He was texting me through the game. I mean, unbelievable that he's got his notifications on his phone because it usually takes him about 4 days to reply to a text. But he texted me saying, "Yes, Connor." And it was like, obviously, where he was watching was ahead of what I was watching. So with that and with the penalty save, I knew it had happened before.
Oh, the penalty save as well.
No, but I've got to say, I was relieved because if I'd have been watching that live, I'd have been furious. I'd have been kicking things, and my family was in the lounge with us. Everyone was in my lounge.
Your family?
My family were there on Boxing Day. Mum thrilled to have to watch. Mum and auntie absolutely thrilled to have to watch the Villa game.
How is your mum?
And my sister. She's good, yeah. She's asking a lot of annoying questions through the football, and I know she's not interested at all because she's been with my dad for however many years, 40 odd years, and she's never had one bit of interest in football. But when she's forced to be in the room, I felt like she's asking annoying questions on purpose.
Oh, really? See, my mum.
Why is the play stopped? Because it's free kick, Mum.
Oh, really?
Stuff like that.
You should know that by this point.
Aren't those advertising hoardings distracting? Just annoying stuff through the game.
See, my mum, I don't think she liked football when she met my dad. But she's all in now, and she from years of watching me and my sister play. My sister annoyingly better than I am.
That doesn't surprise me.
She's very well versed in football and listens to the podcast, obviously famously.
Yeah. I mean, when we were at your baby shower, I did hear her going round and saying, "That's Dan Bardell."
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, presumably everyone already knew who you were.
Just telling people in case they weren't sure.
Yeah.
Just don't approach him. Just let him live his life. He's just a normal guy like me and you.
Let me live.
Yeah.
It's let's go back a little bit because McGinn had a great chance to put Villa up, 1-up. Should have scored. I thought so. I kind of feel like
it's 4 yards out.
But
it's a very good save.
He didn't get any criticism, and not that McGinn deserves any criticism, but it's interesting how some players, if they miss a chance, it's like, oh, for God's sake, all this. And McGinn, oh, unlucky McGinn. That's interesting.
Oh, he should score.
It goes back to kind of the Raheem Sterling kind of debate about how you're portrayed in the media, I think.
Yeah, I mean, McGinn will know he should have scored himself. Yeah. It's a good save. Don't get me wrong, it's a great save, but he should score. Yeah. He's kind of put it in an area where the keeper can make a save. But you're right, some players get hammered. And it hasn't cost us, so that helps.
Yeah.
If that cost us, he might be getting a bit of stick saying he should have put that away. But I brought it up before. If Alan Hutton knocks across into Rose Ed, gets his name sang. Yeah. Al Mohammedi does it. He gets absolutely panned.
Yeah, that's a very good example.
They both do it more than I'd like them to do.
Yeah, if we could cut out that completely, that'd be useful. James Bree had a very good game. I thought credit to James Chester as well. There was a point where Ollie McBurney looked like he might be teeing up for to put Leeds to put Swansea ahead, and James Chester just held him, and I thought James Chester played really well alongside an inexperienced still centre back.
I mean, he's in Wales, isn't he? James Chester, he's country representative, obviously.
Famously.
Maybe feels the need to play better when he's in Wales. I don't know. Yeah. I've got to say, I noticed Chester and I thought Chester had a good game. I didn't really notice Bree, but I wouldn't say that's a bad thing. Yeah. Because it means he did his job. I just didn't really notice Bree do anything in the game, but as I say, that means he must have done well. At the end of the day, we've kept a clean sheet.
Absolutely. So we kept a clean sheet because of the heroics of Orlan Neeland. El Ghazi gives away a sloppy penalty, kind of diving all over Nathan Dyer. Can't have too many complaints about that one. Yeah.
It's like we would try and find a way to mess the game up, and we tried again to throw away points, but luckily Neeland's bad save. It was a good save as well. It was a good penalty.
Yeah, Wilfred Bonney I always find this interesting. He comes on as a substitute and takes the ball.
Wearing the number 2 shirt, which I'm not sure about.
I was going to raise that with you, actually. Yeah.
Is it on the notes?
No, it's not on the notes, but I noticed it and was like, ugh, doesn't sit well with me.
It's not. For a shirt number connoisseur like myself, that shouldn't be happening.
Absolutely. You wouldn't forget it, though, would you?
No, that's true.
Not that you forget any of them.
I mean, I know all the squad numbers. You ask me a Swansea squad number.
Number 2.
I wouldn't be able to go back and tell you.
So Bonney grabs the ball, takes it, and to be fair, delivers a decent penalty, but Orlan Neeland guesses the right way, and we'll come on to whether he guessed or not, but he dives the right way. Huge save for him. And is it a turning point, or is it too late to be a turning point?
It's a turning point in the sense that that's a big moment in our season, but as I've said in the preview, we've spent £7 million on a goalkeeper. He's going to play, isn't he? Yeah. He's not going to come in and sit on the bench, and Neeland knows that he's probably no longer number 1, so all he can do is do his best while he's in the team, and if he can do stuff like that, then he'll be remembered more fondly than he is for his mistakes. Maybe it's a good save. I don't know whether you noticed. I thought Nathan Dyer's reaction to Bonnie's penalty, he was furious.
Was he?
Straight off the bat when it was saved, he was like that, as if Bonnie shouldn't have been taking it.
Right.
I don't know who Swansea's normal penalty taker is.
No.
Bonnie's not played much, has he?
No, he hasn't. No, I noticed that there was a kind of somebody. Basically, Bonnie grabs the ball and doesn't let go, and one of the strikers, I can't mind who, kind of goes up.
Was
to
McBurney still on at that point, or did Bonnie come on?
No,
I
I don't
remember.
think so. I'm not sure.
He's their main man in front of goal.
Right, yeah. Well, somebody comes up to him and kind of goes like this, but then you can kind of consciously see he makes a decision not to make a fuss about it, and so Bonnie's got this ball like it's his baby, and the guy goes, okay, and then walks off and lets him have it, and it's ended up costing them a point.
Well, we had it earlier on in the season, didn't we? The Preston game at home, where Whelan's grabbed the ball and everyone's like, what's going on here? And Blassie's just scored.
Yeah.
Wants to take it. You probably associate him more with taking a penalty than Whelan, and then Whelan goes and misses it. It's the same thing, isn't it, really?
But if you make a drama out of it, everyone's going to be unsettled, and then you're more of a chance of missing it, all that kind of stuff.
Nothing will ever beat the Di Canio Lampard one, when Di Canio, it must have been 2099, where Di Canio's trying to take the ball. He has a proper tantrum because Lampard says, I'm the penalty taker, and Di Canio's going mad.
And Lampard's a kid at this point.
Yeah, pretty much, relatively still a kid.
Bold from Lampard.
I mean, he's a good penalty taker through his career,
Yeah.
wasn't he, Lampard? Might have missed one for England, though, if I'm not mistaken. Most people have.
Reflects well on Lampard. Audrey Lynch, should Neeland hold on to the number 1 jersey if performances improve? Moomin 3000 asks the same question. He's got a couple of games left, essentially, hasn't he? And somebody else asked, Stephen Deakin, HP Wilco, does Kalinic start the FA Cup third round against Swansea?
I'll answer the FA Cup question first. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a perfect time to introduce him to English football under I'd say less pressure than an FA Cup game.
So that's the 5th, right? I think.
Yes.
So Neeland has the game against Preston, game against QPR.
I don't think Kalinic can play against
Exactly,
QPR.
that's what I mean, yeah.
So he's got those 2 games. If you've got a new goalkeeper who hasn't played in this country before, I'd suggest the third round of the FA Cup against a team that's in your league, which I can't imagine either team's taking massively seriously.
So to turn that on its head a little bit, if Kalinic has a stinker,
You
Ben-
probably stick with
Ben
Neeland
Neeland
for a bit
stays.
and give him time to settle it.
Yeah.
They'll make a decision based on training.
Yeah.
I would think Neeland came in and played almost immediately after he'd signed, and we'd loaned Jed Steer out. I suggest, looking back, if we'd held on to Jed Steer for a few more weeks, let Neeland bed in a bit more in training, he might have had less of a tough start, and maybe that would have made him make less mistakes through the season.
Sure.
He's thrown straight in. Jedinak makes a costly error in the first game, and Neeland clears the ball kind of against him, and they score. And his confidence is down immediately.
Yeah.
I always think you should introduce players slowly, especially when they've not played in the country before. If they've played in the league before, then okay, throw them straight in if they're an upgrade on what you have. But I always think when you're introducing someone from a different league, they've had no pre-season, they haven't had much training time with the team if they've joined midweek like Neeland did. I always think it's a risk to throw them straight in. So I think the FA Cup game, I think that's a good thing for Kalinic. But it's a weird situation for Neeland, I think. It's not often that you'll know that there's someone coming in to replace you in the coming weeks. It's just a weird situation.
And there's a potential there that it takes the pressure off him. He relaxes a bit more.
Maybe that's why Villa did it. I don't know.
Announced it, yeah.
Because I think it's weird that was announced.
Do you think that Neeland is coming into a bit of form at this stage? He's made a couple of decent saves. He hasn't made a clanger in
I'm trying to think when his last mistake was, or that you could perceive as a mistake.
Couple of weeks. There wasn't anything in the Leeds game. Obviously, kept a clean sheet against Swansea.
I'm struggling to remember. Yeah, the West Brom one's the last one, isn't it?
Christmas throws me off.
You could point fingers at the West Brom game.
He's still not a confident goalkeeper. I think there's been moments where he still looks shaky.
Yeah.
Right? So
his confidence is not sky high, is it?
Yeah, but
I feel sorry for him.
Yeah, I'm in a weird place with Neeland because I said this at the start of the season that I wasn't confident in him, and I don't like that that's borne out to be true. And yet at the same time, I feel a bit sorry for him because, like you say, he was chucked in there, and maybe if we'd managed it a bit better, he would have had a lot better of a career.
I like an underdog. So I think I always support the players that if ever there's a player that the fans are getting the back on, that instantly makes me like them more and want them to do better.
Well, also to your credit, you don't generally pile on any player, with the exception.
True.
There's only one exception that I know of, and that's Julian Lescott.
Oh yeah, and he deserves it.
Yeah,
he deserves it. And just seeing him round here, at work, and she said she bumped into him, and he was really friendly, really nice. I said, you should have two-footed him, man. What you been nice to him for?
Villa Vince, looks like Dan's theory on Neelan being more comfortable at home is spot on. Maybe we should have yes. Yep. Yeah. Maybe we should have a home and away goalkeeper.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure that's going to catch on, but I do think it's a valid point. Obviously, I've made it, but I do think it's a valid point that he does. I feel he's a lot more secure in away games than home games. One thing I will say for him, I was saying this to my dad yesterday when we were watching the game, I really like his distribution. It's so quick. He did a throw, I don't know whether you saw it. He did a long throw yesterday when we were 1-0 up, but trying to catch Swansea on a break that cleared the halfway line. I can't remember who it was to. It was a great throw.
Right.
And he releases the ball. He's obviously been told to do it because he wasn't doing that under Bruce. He releases the ball really quickly on just a quick roll out. He gets us on the attack quite a lot of times, Neeland. I really like his distribution.
There was one time, or maybe twice in the Leeds game, where the striker stayed up. I think it's Alioski,
the little
who just it basically stayed with Neeland, like you do when you're 10 and you're walking in front of the keeper and then you swing your foot.
You used to
out.
do on FIFA.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, trying to block the ball.
And they were doing that, obviously trying to get in his head a little bit, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, you're right. Distribution. I kind of mocked you last week for saying that distribution was that important, but it is. And the way Dean Smith starts, he wants it out from the back, out quick, and let's get going to the wings.
I will say I'm looking forward to seeing Kalinic though, just because I've said in general I like a goalkeeper with a big frame, and he's a big guy.
To go back to the penalty save for a second, Dean Smith said that the goalkeeping staff and Neeland obviously in particular do a lot of work on penalties, had a meeting before the game and looked at possible penalty takers. They made a decision on which way he'd go, and they're pleased it obviously worked out.
I mean, he was close to the Leeds pen, wasn't he?
Yeah,
very close.
And then Oyen himself has reacted.
No, not Leeds, sorry, Stoke penalty.
What did you say?
I said Leeds.
Oh, right, sorry, I wasn't listening.
You've got to pick me up on that.
I wasn't listening, I was reading. Oyen himself has reacted the way I wanted him to upon signing a goalkeeper. He's got the shirt and wants to keep hold of it. You only need to look at the fact I've taken Kodja out today and put in El Ghazi. I want competition everywhere. That's good.
Fair enough, that's what
Again, honesty, isn't it?
Yeah. With Bruce, some players will have known, whatever they did, Bruce has his favourites, and that's it. I don't think that's the case with Smith, and I think that's good. Look at Connor for an example. First few games he wasn't in the team, was he? And then he came in and made that deep line midfielder's shirt his own. If you do well, you'll keep the shirt.
Yeah, fourth goal this season for Connor.
We all thought Hogan would get a chance under Smith, but Tammy's absolutely smashing it, so you can't find room for him. So if Hogan at some point does come in and score a goal, he'll keep the shirt, but Tammy's just going to keep it at the moment because he's scoring most weeks. To go back to Hourihane, I thought it was interesting. Often you've been very praising of Hourihane, as have I, as has this podcast generally, and there's been a lot of, I don't know what you're talking about, all this Hourihane stuff. I mean, I get that quite a lot.
There was none of that yesterday on your tweet for Hourihane. There was everybody saying, I don't know what you're talking about, always rated him. So
to be fair, there is a lot of people that always agree when
all of the naysayers had gone quiet on that.
They do,
one.
Don't they?
That was funny. Rob Henry, how good is Balassi? I like Balassi. I think Balassi's again one of these players. Some people are being a bit critical, and it goes back to being critical of somebody all of the time, whether it's Kodja or Balassi at the moment. And the moment they have a quiet game, they're piling on. You've got to remember that Snodgrass had some brilliant games for Villa and then would go quiet for a couple of games. That's what wingers do. That's what these creative players do.
Yeah, but if you look at positions over the course of football history, it's usually wingers that are the most frustrating
Ashley
players.
Young was like that,
isn't it? Yeah. Downing was hit and miss at times, all Brighton. Even so, wingers, it's a frustrating position because they're usually the tricky ones on the wing, aren't they? A lot of them are very up and down. Finding a consistent winger is not as easy as it seems. I think Balassi's always a threat. I think that's what I like about him, is that even when he's not at his best, he's a threat.
That Leeds moment where he's on the wing and he's just kind of doing massive step overs and they look ridiculous, and he just megs the right back.
That's
the
the
left
kind of
back.
trick you see me doing on FIFA.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Really,
I wish I could do that on FIFA.
I wish I could do it in real life. It really, that not many things make me. I think I screamed like a little girl when he did that at Villa Park. He's got a lot of assists since he's been here. I still think we'd be better off with him on the right. and El Ghazi on the left.
Really?
I think that would work better. I think you'd see better from both when they're on the pitch if you swapped them around. But again, Dean Smith knows better than me. There'll be reasons why he's not doing that.
I think he gave away a pair of his boots on Christmas Day as well, Balassi, which is nice. Rob Henry also says, should we move Hutton to right back, as currently we look weak on both flanks? What do you do at left back then?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We're short. 4 senior players, and it's maybe a bit kind classing Bree as a senior player, the amount of games he's played since he's been here. That's all we have left. That Revan's still on the bench, isn't he, Dominic Revan?
Yeah.
He's not getting any football. Maybe he'll play in the Cup as well.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good time to give him a chance.
Interesting team for Swansea.
I mean, Dean Smith said we're going to take it seriously. We're going to take the FA Cup seriously, which will be music to a lot of Villa fans' ears, because a lot of people think you shouldn't disrespect the Cups. I don't know where you sit with it, but realistically I just think there's no way we're going to win the FA Cup, so we need to focus on going up. That's the bigger aim.
Yeah, right now I'd rather be in the Premier League than a potential Wembley experience for a semi-final, rather than, I
feel quite done with Wembley as well. if I'm being honest,
That's some fond memories.
I mean, there's a chance we might be there again if we hit the playoff. Well, I'd still like us to get autos. What do you think of autos now?
I just don't see it. I know Smith said there's 66 points still to be won. There's a lot of teams that are still going to win 2/3 of those points.
It's a funny league.
It is a funny league, and I mean, sure, if you're going to offer me automatics, I'll take them.
Yeah,
but
I'd like to think you would.
Realistically, I think playoffs. I think we'll be kind of top of the playoffs. I would see 4th as the kind of realistic expectation. It's the
same as last year.
Attainable position this year.
I agree with you. But every time you win, it feels like, oh, maybe we can. And every time you lose, you think, oh, God, it's impossible. It's very up and down, the Championship. I never know what I feel on a weekly basis.
Well, let's have a look at it right now. Leeds and Norwich, who both... Norwich
are doing my head in, by the way. Absolutely doing my head in every week. It's a joke.
Was it Righty who tweeted that they can't keep going on like this?
No, we've been saying that for ages.
But they can't keep winning in the last minute. And Leeds as well got another last gasp win. So they're top, 51 points. Norwich second, 3 points behind. And then the 3 points behind them is West Brom. So there is a gap starting to open up between the automatics here.
I'm just sick of Norwich.
West Brom in 3rd. And then you've got Sheffield United, Middlesbrough and Derby, all 2 points within each other, make up the top 6. Birmingham in 7th on 37.
That's annoying me. That can knock itself on the head as well.
And QPR on 8th, who obviously we play on New Year's Day. They're also on 37 points. Terrible goal difference, -1 though. And then Villa come in a point behind in 9th on 36 points. So 36 to 51.
We've done got to have a +9 goal difference, the amount of goals we've conceded, to be fair.
Yeah, it's true. And then you've got Nottingham Forest around there. Stoke still won't think that they're out of it, I don't think. And where do you draw the line at this stage?
Nowhere. Well, obviously somewhere.
Hull on 30 points?
I mean, you look at Sheffield Wednesday 16th, and every time I see them, they've lost. But they're 9 points off 5th.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
3 wins, technically, well, not technically, but get you back up amongst the...
And they've got the promotion specialist on the way, haven't they? Bruce is going there.
Yeah,
Bruce is going to Sheffield Wednesday. I've got a few points I'd like to make about various teams. Just
go on then, while we're looking at the table.
While we're looking at the table. So you've got Leeds at the top, who obviously we spoke a lot about already, but what I will say is thank you to the Leeds fans for their kind comments about our videos. No. Obviously it's easier to make kind comments when you've just beaten that team, but we did get a lot of positive feedback about our channel from the Leeds fans, so that was nice to see.
They don't have to watch these videos. I always find it crazy.
I never watch anything.
One, that Villa fans watch it, but 2, that other fans watch it is a compliment, so yeah, thank you for that.
I don't even watch our own stuff to give us views, which is silly. Norwich, I'm sick of seeing that name Pookie pop up all the time. I don't really know who he is. Keeps scoring. Didn't play against us, and Jordan Rhodes played, and he scores 2 against us.
That's annoying.
So that keeps annoying me. Pookie. West Brom can do one with their cheating.
Yeah.
Sheffield United can do one as well, because I've still got bad memories of the day
Sheffield United.
At Bramall Lane.
That was horrible. Although we met some young Sheffield United fans as well.
Did we?
Yeah.
Birmingham. I still follow Gary Gardner on Instagram, and I shouldn't, because it really annoys me. But I'm like a weird voyeur who wants to know what's going on. I'm not going to follow Birmingham City official on any social media platform, so I just follow him and see what he's doing. He does seem to have been taken in by the Birmingham fans, and he seems to have We've spoken about it before, but for someone who's a Villa fan, he seems to have got carried away with this keep right on nonsense.
Yeah, but I mean,
I know he's got to do it, but just calm down a little bit, Gary.
But do you think he must have been so alienated by the Bruce regime where he didn't
And
get
the
a
Villa
chance?
fans didn't really like him.
And so he gets an opportunity at Birmingham, and he gets to play the, what do they call it, the heel in wrestling. You know, he gets this.
I don't know what that means, Dom. The heel.
Yeah, when you turn heel, like you basically are a good guy, and then you turn into like one of the nasty characters on WWE.
That's a bit above me. That's above my pay grade.
Seth Rollins was a heel. Anyway,
good knowledge.
Yeah,
I wish you'd apply some of this knowledge to football.
Anyway, what I'm saying is Gary Gardner has this opportunity to go all in and go, like, basically stick two fingers up to the Villa.
But he supports Villa. Why would you want to stick two fingers up to the Villa?
Because
I'd never want to do that.
Because he's working for Birmingham every day. You know, you'd think that he's ingrained in it. You've got to buy in.
Yeah,
otherwise,
I've had jobs that I've not bought into.
Yeah, but you're not a professional footballer.
No,
You've not got people like worshipping you, essentially.
But you wouldn't say that all the Villa players are bought into being a Villa. If they got offered more money elsewhere, they'd go.
I would say a lot of them do.
I'm saying you don't. No, I agree. I'm saying you don't have to.
Well, I think you do if you're going to go from Villa to Birmingham. You can't do that half-heartedly.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be like, at least he hasn't done a Craig Gardner and lied about, I've actually been a Blues fan all my life, you know.
Yeah.
I did all those interviews when I was at Villa saying I was a Villa fan, but actually, I've been a Birmingham fan my whole life secretly. Even though all my family supports Villa, I've been a secret Blue now.
Do you think there's any way back for Gary Gardner?
No. Is he out of contract in the summer? I think he is.
I wrote all these down, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
Before?
Because somebody asked about loan recall, so I went digging deep into it. Gary Gardner out in 2020, so we've got another year.
Oh, Gary.
And he can't be recalled.
I mean, that was a bizarre situation. Bruce had been here a few months, decided to give Gary Gardner a new contract because saying he deserved more pay.
Send him out.
Which we do. And the next season, Bruce says, actually, we'll send him out on loan. Yeah. So he goes on loan to Barnsley the whole of last season. Now he's at Blues. So we paid him more money to not play any games for Villa.
Yeah, stupid. Anyone else you want to criticise or compliment?
QPR, what are they doing up there?
We'll find out on January 1st.
Yeah, Dean Spencer, our friend, mutual QPR friend's very excited about his trip to Villa Park.
Is he?
He's getting giddy. I tend to hear a lot off him when QPR are doing well, and then when they're not doing well, he doesn't seem to text me as much.
Will he come on fan cams?
I could ask him. I'm not sure we want that, especially if QPR win. We definitely don't want him on fan cams if QPR win.
Depends if you do a preview with him, though. Might be quite interesting.
Not a bad idea. I'll speak to him. He's quite a mouthy character, though. I think.
But that's what's going to be good.
I think the camera would go to his head.
Yeah. Anyone else before we move on?
No, I've said my piece.
You said your piece?
I've said what I wanted to say.
I feel a bit sorry for Ipswich Town. Like, they're a traditional club.
Manager.
No, because I used to have... Did you ever have LMA Manager on the PlayStation?
I played it with Alan Hansen doing a bit of match analysis.
I think it was,
yeah. I had it.
It had a really good theme tune into it. Anyway, I really like that game. Ipswich Town was one of the teams that I'd often start with.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say like they were mentioned in the theme tune.
No. No. But anyway, I'd start with Ipswich. Do a lot better than these guys. I always found LMA Manager a lot easier than Football Manager.
It's not, Football Manager's for the proper football connoisseurs.
I don't understand how people do so well at Football Manager. My best achievement was in like 2000, 2001, where I got Blackburn promoted and signed Ryan Giggs onto a month-by-month contract and then onto a 3-year deal. And that was the best I've ever done.
And that was when you decided you didn't like James Chester, when you were playing Football Manager?
Later on, 2006, 2007.
Well, I mean, Rollo has his demons with Football Manager. He struggles.
How's his all-English team, his Brexit team?
He didn't do it. He stopped doing that.
Oh, has he?
He's been through about 3 different teams on Football Manager, the latest one already, and I think the game's about 2 months old, whereas I've only completed 1 season with Watford in my first save that I started because I take it so slowly.
Oh, so slow. I used to like it.
Very well, by the way.
We've talked about Football Manager. We don't need to go back into it. Injuries is one thing that we have talked about and continues to plague Villa. The big one is Jack Grealish right now, and we're not hearing a lot out of Villa, which makes me nervous.
Yeah.
He was supposed to have a scan, and presumably Villa know the results of that scan. Villa fans don't know the results of that scan, and the fact that they haven't come out and said it's a couple of weeks makes me think that we may not see him for a little while.
No, I think it's going to be months.
Yeah.
That is...
It's troubling, isn't it? Because
because
Jack Grealish is the heart and soul of this club, and it's. I know people don't. Well, no, actually, only Pat Tolley doesn't like us speaking about Jack Grealish, but he is integral to the club. Yeah,
because he's irreplaceable. Because no one does the things that he does. But I'd suggest we're going to be looking at an alternative in January now. If it is months, we'll be. apparently the Sawyers links were quite strong.
Right.
Doing the round yesterday.
Makes sense.
At the Swansea game, so that would make sense, and that would be a semi-replacement for Jack. But he's irreplaceable, and he's our most important player in my opinion.
We also lost Twanzebe for, is it a couple of months? Is it a metatarsal?
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure now, but I think it's going to be a while.
Which again,
as Dean Smith said that. I didn't say anything after the game yesterday.
Believe he's out for a couple of months. I think that's official. And
Elphic's coming back, isn't he?
So Nigel Adkins thinks that the Hull Leeds game will be the last time that Tommy Elphick plays in a Hull shirt.
He'll probably get injured.
Yeah. I was going to say it's really disappointing for Axel Twanzebe because he's had a run of games. He's
been
looking
good.
in good form. He was enjoying his football. Only last week we quoted his AVTV thing where he said he's loving playing football, and to go out for a couple of months, which gives an opportunity for Bree or Elphick potentially, or a new centre back to come in as well. You know,
I'd imagine there'll be a new centre back coming in.
but if there's a signing partnership between Chester and Twanzebe, this new guy, then Twanzebe maybe has played his last game at centre back for Villa potentially.
You need
cover,
you
sure.
need 4 centre backs.
But the fact that he's on loan means that he won't. Dean Smith's not looking to the future with Twanzebe.
I mean, I suggest Man U won't be recalling him now, which was one of the things that was linked a few podcasts back. Just the state we're in defence is unforgivable numbers-wise.
Yeah.
Absolutely unforgivable.
So hopefully Millie Jednak will train on Thursday.
I think Jednak will be off in January.
Do you?
Yeah.
And
I think he'll go. He hasn't played a minute under Smith. I know he's had injuries, but even when he's been fit, he's been nowhere near it. Like, he'll go.
Yeah, he wants to play,
He's on big
doesn't he?
money as well.
He wants to enjoy his last years of football, I think.
He'll be back to Australia, I would think.
And Henry Lansbury as well, supposedly close to returning to fitness. It'd be interesting to see whether he gets a shot.
You know, I think he'd be playing.
Yeah.
I really think he'd be playing if he was with, especially when Bjarnason and Jack were out. I think Lansbury would have got to go because he's more attacking, isn't he? But a lot of people say, why is he replaced Grealish with Whelan? He obviously doesn't think O'Hare's ready. So really, who else is he going to replace him with?
Well, Callum O'Hare is injured as well at the moment.
I had noticed he wasn't on the bench.
So that's another issue for
Treatment
Villa.
tables. A few people didn't want to play over Christmas, did they?
No, that's it. Yeah,
A few people wanted Christmas off this year.
Got a little knock, can't make it. Frank Marbella, Lions, who replaces Jack during the time of injury. We talked about in the preview a little bit whether we see a bit more of Bjarnason. McGinn's playing further forward a bit, but the Sawyer links potentially could be the one.
I think Lansbury's got a chance to. He just can't stay fit, can he? The whole time he's been here, he's just looked off the pace, and I think it's a fitness problem. Yeah. But he comes on against Blues and gets injured after 10 minutes in his first appearance in I don't know how long. He's got a chance if he can keep himself fit, Lansbury, I'd say.
Yeah. Clunk, click. We're lacking creativity in midfield without Grealish, Wood, Connor, Holding, and McGinn, Birkett, Bjarnason work.
Yeah, I said that last week, didn't I?
That's what we like to see, and we may well see that in against Preston.
See, I like Connor in the deep role because I like his passing. But then I watched the game yesterday and he gets in the box and gets on the end of something. I like that he's just got this determination to score goals. He's a bit like Lampard in that manner. He wants to score goals from midfield. So I feel like if he's not the one playing the deep midfield, I feel like we lose something. But if he's not one of the ones driving into the box, I feel we lose something as well. So it's difficult.
So to round off all this work I did on loan recalls, Villa Till We Die asked, would Tommy Elphick fit Dean Smith's system and can he be recalled? I'll let you do the first one.
Well, I said a few months back that I was of the understanding we could recall him.
We can.
And we will.
He's out of contract in the summer.
He won't be getting a new contract, but we'll need it. If he's going to come back and play games, he'll be happier playing at Villa than he will be at Hull.
You don't think he could win a new contract?
I would... Not at his age, I wouldn't think it would be sensible. It would make sense to get a younger centre-back. I imagine he's on relatively high wages, not mega bucks, but relatively high wages, Elphick.
Yeah. How old is he?
He's got to be 30 odd.
Yeah.
He's got to be.
I can Google it.
I mean, you can do, and I had something to say about
Go on.
Elphick. A few people have asked about the style of football, whether he can play in Smith's infrastructure, but I'm pretty sure Bournemouth played pretty nice football when they went up, and he was the captain of that side.
Yeah.
So you'd think that he'd be able to...
He is in his Bournemouth uniform.
How old is he? He's a couple of years younger than me.
He's going to be 32 for the start of next season. Interesting that he's out of contract, Jed Steer's out of contract, Richie Delat's out of contract, and they're all out on loan. It just kind of seems so stupid. But I mean, that's the way it goes.
Richards is out of contract, isn't he?
Richards out of contract.
I was speaking to someone about this at the Leeds game. Amongst all these, we're still paying a centre about 35 grand a week.
Yeah.
Where is he?
He's
just
not
nowhere near it.
Well, he's not in the squad, is he? So he doesn't have squad number. So you can't just put him in, can you? I think you can change that up in January.
I don't think you have to register a squad in the Championship.
Is that right?
I'm going purely off Football Manager here.
Is that?
But you do in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I'm sure you don't in the Championship.
No, you might be right. So steer out contract. I saw Richie Delatte on Christmas Day saying that.
Oh, you came around your house for dinner?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was a long way to go, but he made the effort.
Yeah.
He said that he didn't want to come back to Villa and
thanks, Richard.
didn't plan on. Basically, didn't get any chances. Didn't go all the way to Australia for 3 months to come back up.
It's a different manager now, though.
Yeah, but
we're paying him again. I would imagine he's on pretty decent money.
He's out of contract, so maybe he likes his life in Australia and is on to a winner.
I'm sure it's nicer than in Birmingham.
Ross McCormack got another year, hasn't he, with us?
Yeah.
That should be good.
There'll come a point, at some point, maybe it'll be 2020, 2021, where we might not be actually paying anyone silly money that doesn't play.
Yeah.
Because that's just seems to have been a pattern now for too long.
Yeah. Jim Pansy asked if we should recall Elphick as well, so it does look like that's going to happen.
Yeah. I think it was happening before Twanzebe got injured, so it'll definitely be happening now.
Yeah. Jordan O'Brien, would you be happy if we just strengthened defensively? He thinks that we need midfield reinforcements as well.
I mean, I'd say we're more desperate
For
a centre-back and a left-back.
Yeah.
As cover. Even if it was just someone to cover Taylor, I'd say we're more in need defensively.
You got any options? Who would you like to see putting you on the spot?
I'm the left-back.
Yeah.
I've said previously, Rico Henry's a player that's worked with Smith before at Walsall and Brentford. He's had a long-term injury though, but he's highly rated. He'd be one that I would think of. But we're linked with Barbe as well, aren't we? Who plays left-back / centre-back for Brentford. That would make sense because he can cover two positions. He's worked under Smith before, so he's obviously going to be good on the ball. So they're the two that leap out at me.
Somebody, I think, has tweeted at me saying something about Barbe, and until you just said that, I had no idea what they were on
You
about.
just thought someone was telling you that they got a Barbe doll for Christmas or something.
Needed a Barbe haircut, barbers,
Oh, dear.
something. I don't know.
My joke wasn't great, but it was better than yours.
Neither showered us in glory. Have you seen this tweet that's doing the rounds at the moment? A visual representation of the teams that Smith has played and Bruce has faced this season. So basically, the top 13 are all green, which indicates that Dean Smith has played against them, with the exception of Sheffield United and Bristol City. And then the whole of the bottom half of the table, with the exception of Bolton Wanderers, were games that Steve Bruce has played, which is just... I mean, we had talked about this.
It's bad. It doesn't reflect well on Steve.
Well, in September and October, when we weren't picking up points, I think the main criticism from us was we are losing games against teams that are in the bottom half of the table. This is a real nice visualisation of that.
Yeah, it's
mess,
unbelievable, really. Yeah.
It couldn't be more split, really, could it? What
that says to me is we're going to win the league. That's what that says to me.
66 points on the table, Dan.
That's what he wants. That's what Dean wants. What Dean wants, Dean gets.
That's it. Well, let's see. Let's see if he gets what he wants in January, and then we'll work it out from there. Anything else for the pod?
Just that I looked through my podcast bag today, and this was still sitting in it. What's his name? He did get back to us, didn't he? I forgot his name.
It's completely gone out of my head.
Villa. What was his name?
Bruno Valente? Velez
Valentes, who has won the Rob Bishop Euros and Villains book. I will get that out to you at some point. I'm not going to put a date on it because I'm not very good at sending things out, but he did get back to us, so the prize is he is not the person you gave second place to, who was probably listening to this thinking he was going to get it. Yeah,
Bruno Valentes actually lives in a place where I picked up Young Player of the Year once upon a time.
Where was that?
I can't tell you.
Young Player of the Year. Wasn't for
confidentiality.
Wasn't for football, I'm presuming.
It was, yes.
Oh, okay.
Circa 07, 08.
Okay.
Dominated, then went to uni and stopped playing for him.
Yeah. Did you show your shirt on this podcast, how small it was?
Yeah.
Because I've just, the whole time, I spent the whole podcast feeling ill. And the pink boxes are unbelievable.
It's the stomach bit that really...
Right, let's go. Let's call it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's call it 53 minutes. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
All right. Sit down. Thanks ever so much for watching this podcast. We've done 3 videos, so I feel a bit all over the place.
I can't believe you just told me to sit down.
Sorry. We've done 3 videos, so I feel a bit all over the place. Yeah. Don't know about you, but thanks ever so much for watching this podcast. If you could give it a like. If you've watched via YouTube, give it a review, a good review. If you've watched via iTunes, let us know your feelings on the Villa and the podcast in the comments below. On YouTube, we do like reading them, even if we're not always great. You're not great at all. But as a team, we're not brilliant at getting back to people in the YouTube comments.
One of my resolutions.
Yeah, mine. We're going to try and fit that in better in the new year. Let's try and make better of the interaction.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember what else we usually ask for. Subscribe to the Villa View on YouTube if you're not already subscribed. You post notifications on so you know when our videos are coming before anyone else. What videos have we got coming up? Tom and I have already done a match preview, so that should be coming to you soon in the next few days. I would think sometime before the 29th.
Well, it's got to be. It's Thursday today.
Yeah, that's true.
It's got to be tomorrow.
Technically, the match preview has to be before the Preston game. So that'll be with you before the Preston game. And then New Year's Day, Rollo and myself will be brave in the conditions to do fan cams as per usual. If it's raining, we'll be down by the Trinity because Rollo does not like the rain.
Fair enough.
We hope you all had a wonderful Christmas and, yeah, have a great New Year as well. There'll be videos before then, but we won't be doing a podcast before then, will we?
If you could go out with one Villa player for New Year's Eve night, who would it be?
Past or now?
Current.
Current, I mean, they shouldn't really be going
Well,
out.
okay, but they've got a pass.
I really don't know. I don't know. Who'd you?
Alan Hutton.
Alan Hutton?
Yeah, I think he'd be lively.
Yeah.
I was also thinking about this quite a lot, quite in depth.
Why?
I don't know, but I feel like John.
We've done the outro now, Tom.
Yeah, I know.
You've started a new segment.
I know. I didn't put it on the notes. John McGinn. I feel like he's the great lad.
Yeah,
that you
actually,
just, he will go along with anything.
I'd pick John McGinn, actually.
He wouldn't be a leader.
Because he seemed like a laugh when I met him at the training ground. He seemed like a laugh.
I feel like he'd do anything. He'd just be good fun.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Nice one. John McGinn and Alan Hutton, let's go out.
Thanks for railroading the end of the podcast, Tom.
Up the Villa.
Up the Villa. Happy New Year. And I hope you had a great Christmas.
Lovely.
If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.